So we moved into our dream home almost a year ago now, and I aligned with this house, and I'll explain to you what I mean. Now, we were desperate for somewhere else to live, and it was really difficult at the time because rental prices had gone through the roof during the pandemic, and they'd not come down again. So all rental property was horribly expensive, and there were, for any available property, there were long waiting lists, and plus a lot of landlords, landladies will not accept pets, and we have our beloved kitty, and there is no way in the world we were going to rehome Kitty. Plus, we wanted to live somewhere quiet, and the cost of living somewhere quiet was extortionate. So I looked at a few properties, or found a few properties, but they were not good at all. They were really not good. And so that's where I learned about the power of saying no. That even if, you're really desperate, if it's not right, something isn't right, even though you're desperate, then it's just not right, and you have to say no. So I wrote, I had a journal, and I wrote, I'll take you on a little walk. Here's our kitty. Yes, little Miss Kitty. So I wrote in my journal, day after day after day, I gave thanks for our new home. I listed all the things that we needed in new home, including, the cost and all the bits and pieces that go with a home that you yourself want. And I just kept doing that, and I listened to a YouTube video, a meditation on attracting your ideal home, and I listened to it night after night after night. And then all of a sudden, here's my partner, all of a sudden this house just was presented to us out of the blue, and it was a mess. It was a real mess, because it had been neglected for quite a while, as in, people who'd lived here hadn't been able to cope with it, hadn't done anything with it. It needed redecorating. There was a lot of rubbish on the land, but we could see the beauty in it. Now, we've had months and months and months of rain and wind here in the UK, and so the garden is looking very battered. But, in the short period of time we've been here, given the weather, when we've been able to get out, we've actually done a lot with it. So this year we're really looking forward now to getting out and getting on with it again. So all of this here is our garden, and as you can see there, there's still quite a lot of work to be done, but anyway, as I say, it's an awful lot better than it was. And we just absolutely love it here. I'm 68, my partner's 11 years younger than me. So some might say that it's challenging for people of our age, but I'm pretty fit. He's fit, but I'm fitter. He's got a few limitations to his health, but he still gets on with stuff. I'm coming up our little hill, and I'll show you at the top. So this is a nice little seating area. So of a nice evening or an afternoon, you can come out and sit with a drink. Oh, excuse me. I've got an arthritic knee, even though I'm going for my third dan in kickboxing. Right, so you can see how beautiful it is. Look at all the gorse. It's only March, just March as well, and the gorse is really blossoming. But this was a miracle for us, because it came in at a price we could afford, and the landlord was absolutely amazing, so kind, he still is. And he just handed us the keys, liked us, handed us the keys and said, there you go. It's yours, get on with it, do what you will. And he's been very fair and reasonable with us, and he's pleased with what we've done to the place because he knew what it looked like before. And so we're all happy. We're all happy. And I couldn't have imagined at all that a place like this would become available to us. So I would say to you, look, whatever it is in your life that you want and need, it's not going to come instantly. It's not going to come overnight necessarily, because something has to be available before it can be yours. So most things that we want in this world already exist. So I'm not overly keen on the term manifest. I prefer aligned. This house was here before we even knew it existed. It will be here after we're gone. But it was aligning ourselves with it which was what we had to do. And I'll also show you my journal and show you how I went about it in a minute. But I just wanted to show you, what's possible. But you have to be able to say no along the way to that which is not suitable. If you don't say no, then whatever term you want to give it, God, the universe, your higher self, you've got to let it know, thank you for bringing that along as a sample, but it's not quite right. Now, we had to put work and effort into this place. It didn't come wrapped up in a bow, but it's everything we wanted. Absolutely everything we wanted. This was the journal that I used as a wish book, if you like, our new home book. So you can see I drew a colourful but rather childish picture on the front. It's about the limit of my artistic ability, I'm afraid. And you will see that I actually started this on the 22nd of September 2024, and then continued writing in it affirmations, gratitude, lists of people to inform and things to do when we move. Our new home is waiting for us now, etc., etc. And I just kept going. And I would give thanks in there. Thank you for our home. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Thank you for our landlord. Thank you for Kitty being really happy here. All of those things. So if I start that in September 24, it was just before Christmas. I finally got a phone call that changed everything. A man that I'd been in touch with months earlier didn't have any properties at the time, and I didn't think, I'll not hear from him again. He phoned suddenly in just before Christmas and said a house had become available, but it really wasn't suitable. It was on a main road, it was opposite a pub, there was no parking, it was a few doors down from a busy village shop. And I said, thank you so much, but there's no point jumping from the frying pan into the fire. Would have been a different set of problems in that home than we had in the home we were trying to leave, but still problems. And then he said, so you don't want to be in the middle of the village? And I said, no. He said, well, I've got another property coming up. However, it's going to be a bit more expensive than this one. Well, depends on how much it is. He told me the price. I said, you know what, that's okay. That's good. He said, it's got a lot of land and I really need somebody who can look after it because our landlord's not a young man anymore. And he said, the only thing is that I've got somebody staying in there temporarily. She's had to leave not a very good relationship, and her and her children needed somewhere to stay temporarily until another house that she was going to have has become available. So it was a chain. And this is what I was saying to you before about, oftentimes things are not immediately available. They're out there, but they're just not available. And we just have to wait. Thing is, we don't know that, do we? We don't know because, fate, the universe, God, our higher self, again, whatever name you wish to give it, doesn't let us know and say, oh, by the way, if you just hang on 3 or 4 months, it'll all be well. And so that was before Christmas. And it was supposed to be end of January. And then the chain still wasn't moving. Then it was through February. And finally, it was March of 25, and towards the end of March 25, when it became available. And then the rest is history. But I swear, and I could be wrong, yes, okay, I did go out and I put out a lot of feelers, and I had a lot of irons in fires, but this was a bargain to us. This suited us. We suited the house. It was all just waiting to align. Do you understand? So don't give up, and do not underestimate the power of writing things down, of journaling. There it is. I'm being spied on. Anyway, so there you go. Now you've seen it all. Good luck.